very good morning once again, and many thanks for staying with us right here on the #1 breakfast show in the country, Morning at NTV. We are getting into another pertinent conversation. The Ministry of East Africa Community Affairs, yes, received funding from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to help them clear pension and gratuity arrears in June of 2021. So we are talking about the expiration month being June. So if you are a claimant, out of the 554 people, 554 people were supposed to receive their money and you haven't received it, please, you're doing yourself a big disservice. But then I have Mr. Bagwa. He's already here. Mr. Godfrey Bagwa, he is the head Human Resource Management Services at the Ministry of East Africa Community Affairs. He's going to be acquainting us on this operation to actually clear pension and gratuity arrears. You can find them at Kingdom Kampala, second floor. Please, if you're a claimant, there was an advert in the Daily Monitor, the 26th of April. Yes, calling on all people who want to make their claims to go to Kingdom Kampala, but a little less than 400 people have showed up, meaning other people need to be sought to receive their money. And we also did have another advert on the 10th of May within the New Vision, but still you do have individuals who do not know about this operation taking center stage. That's why we took the initiative to look for Mr. Godfrey Bagwa, the head of Human Resource Management Services at the East Africa Community Affairs Ministry, to expand more on this operation. How are they going to be expediting it? What areas will be concentrated on in the wake of the COVID-19 cases that are rising exponentially, now kept at 53,961? A very good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
We are fine. I'm okay.
Indeed. So you received some funding from the Finance Ministry to clear this gratuity and pension arrears. Let us in on this operation.
To be precise, we received 15 billions and we have already started the payments, but not everybody has turned up. Despite the adverts which were run, we still want all these people to come. We want all the beneficiaries to turn up in big numbers, although we mind and we are cognizant of the COVID SOPs, but we are still making an appeal to these people to come.
First off, let us in on the good work that you do at the East Africa Community Affairs, so that the beautiful people who are watching this show may be able to understand whom the employees are that are supposed to be getting this pension and gratuity.
We are talking about the former employees of the defunct East African.
So what kind of work were they
community.
engaged in?
These people were working in different organizations under the East African community.
Yes.
For example, there was the East African Railways and Harbors, Post and Telecom, Meteorological Authority, there was the East African Airways, and among others. So we want all of them to come.
So meaning if I had my father working for the Uganda Railway at some point, and he died, but he had his contract, and we have the first appointment letter, I, as Romeo Busiko, the son of the deceased, I can come and claim for the money at Kingdom Kampala, second floor.
Oh, this one is very specific.
Yes.
It's not open to everybody.
Yes.
Because the number of people we called, we went down to the details of listing them from number 1 to the 554.
Yes.
And remember, the workers who works with the EAC are more than 9,000.
Wow.
Yes, but the ones...
So meaning there's a bigger number you...
Yes, so we're not saying everybody should come. We are talking about those individuals whose names we mentioned in the newspapers. We have put them on our notice boards. We have them in our ministry, but we are saying those ones whom we have called upon, let them come.
What if my father's name has been reflected within the Daily Monitor? That was April 26th and the New Vision 10th of May, but then my father passed away maybe last week or 3 weeks ago, and then what do I do as a son or daughter to claim for the pension?
Maybe let me first clarify. On 26th of April, the advert ran in all the papers, both Monitor and New Vision.
Yes.
Then also on 10th of May, it was both papers, New Vision and Monitor.
Yeah.
Now, in case somebody died, like as you've said,
Yes.
God forbid, 2 weeks ago.
Because of COVID, of course.
Biggest pandemic. What happens here is the claimant is supposed to go to get letters of administration.
I see.
Go to court, take the entire process, get the letters of administration, then they come to us.
I see.
Then we process. It's a process because when they come, we fill in their details, bank details, biodata, then we submit to Ministry of Finance to get supplier numbers, a package which shows all the data of this person on the integrated financial management system. So it's a process. That's why we started appealing as way back as beginning of April for these people to come.
Of course, it's a process, and I could tell you that it is crystal clear and transparent based on the testimonies I've been receiving from members of the public. Some have been reaching out to me. There's a gentleman, Lawrence from Zambia. He called out to me and he said, Romeo, I'm chasing for some money for my deceased father. Yes, he was working for the Railways Corporation, and he was saying he's chasing a pension for him, and he was actually moving to and from Kingdom, Kampala. And I was telling him, go ahead. You know, I'm hearing about the operation, the process is transparent, and so forth, and people are welcoming these initiatives. But I think the biggest problem is information dissemination. Some claimants out there do not know that their names are even reflected in the Daily Monitor or even the New Vision.
We are using a multi-pronged approach. Apart from the newspapers and TV, we are reaching out to the districts through the chief administrative officers. And had it not been for the partial lockdown, our teams were supposed to start rolling to the field starting this week.
I see.
But now that there is a ban on inter-district movements, we shall do it at a later time. But in the meantime, the appeal is on. We want these people to come. Now, especially the Kampala Metropolitan, Mpigi, Mukono, Wakiso, Entebbe, and Kampala, let them continue coming. Of course, as they observe the SOPs. At our offices, we are there. We have a team which is put in place at the headquarters to continue clearing whoever comes, handling and processing.
How many beneficiaries have you reached out to so far out of the 554?
We've received close to 400, but as you can see, 100 people makes a big difference in terms of payment. It would mean if they don't come, this money would be taken back to Ministry of Finance. Maybe I have to mention, do I have to mention what they should come with? Because you don't just walk in.
Yes, the requirements the claimants need to be with in first appointment letter and so forth.
Someone needs to come with first appointment letter. If you were promoted at any one point,
yes,
it is very important. Come with a promotion letter of appointment on promotion. Then the certificate of service, evidence that you worked from this to this time. Then if somebody is dead, the claimant, the beneficiary, the spouse, the children, they need to come with letters of administration. Then we ask for a recent bank statement so that we can capture the bank details. And also the national ID. The national identity.
Very, very important.
Very,
you can't even get a loan without a national ID. That's how serious it is.
Who does not have a national ID. It's now mandatory under the processes of the government of Uganda.
But shouldn't we also put into consideration the fact that some people are still processing their national IDs and the process is still ongoing, and the fact that the process is still ongoing expounds more that some people haven't gotten their national IDs and they might miss out on this opportunity. Aren't there any other alternatives?
They normally come with letters from NERA, NERA acknowledging that this person, the process is ongoing. And we take those letters seriously when they get them from NERA. Yeah.
All right. What else do the claimants need to come with at Kingdom, Kampala?
But those are the main documents. Those are the main documents. The appointment, certificate of service, the letters of administration for the cases of those who have died, the national ID, the bank statement, and if, where possible, if somebody can also show source of salary in the absence of the other documents, if you have a pay slip which you kept from 1977, we say come along with it.
Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome to come with it.
So what if that breadwinner since then passed away and we do not have the first appointment letter, we do not have that deceased national ID? What do we do?
We still encourage them to come. Why? Because
as the siblings.
Verification was done. The Ministry of Finance sent a team of 7 auditors. They came, did a verification, went into an old report of the year 2000. They picked those names, verified to check, did this person work? Is it captured in the report? Meaning that when these people come and they're already verified, we still give them a serious consideration. Yeah.
Of course, this money can go a long way in alleviating some of the challenges these people have been grappling with. That is the COVID-19 pandemic, the impact of it on the people, and these people are not largely working, so this money will go a long way in helping them alleviate those challenges by over 100%. But then you're focusing on people in the Kampala metropolitan area. Don't you think this is going to put others who are away from Kampala to a greater disservice in that regard? Of course, you have your own reasons, which is COVID-19.
This only changed starting on Sunday night when we got the new guidelines. But originally, the program was for, and still it is, for everybody who is on the list and invited across the country. But we are really, really cognizant of the fact that there is an inter-district ban. That's why I'm saying right now, for those
Okay,
who are
since you do not
within.
have districts in this particular, offices
Yes.
in this particular districts, you would be forced to make those movements yourself
Yes.
in these particular districts, and yet there will be a ban on inter-district travel.
Yes,
So that's why
yes.
you're focusing on
That's why
Kampala.
we are, as per now, we're focusing on Kampala Metropolitan. However, we are going to request that given this constraint of COVID and the restrictions, especially on inter-district movements, we shall request, you know, Minister of Finance has human beings.
Yes.
They are humane. We shall request in writing to say that these people who never turned up. When July begins, or as the financial year begins, we shall request the ministry to still send us
Indeed.
the money,
Even though you've
so that
taken
we
it
can
back.
be in position, yes, so that we
Yes.
can, this is mandatory, we have to take it back, so
Indeed.
that we can be in position to complete the exercise.
Please, if you're a claimant and you're out there and you're watching Morning at NTV, the money is there, but then June is the last month for you to be able to do that. And we are saying, please, yes, ensure that you go to Kingdom Kampala if you're in the Kampala metropolitan area. For other jurisdictions, we won't be able to serve you simply because of the new measures on COVID-19 that are banning inter-district travel. So right now, if you can make it to Kampala offices right here at the Kingdom Kampala offices, you'll be able to get some help in that regard. Thank you very much, Mr. Godfrey, Mr. Godfrey Bagwa, for coming through to speak to us. Any parting shots to the people who are watching? In a second.
I need to say we've been receiving so many who are not invited. And of course they incur transport costs and very many other things. Specific emphasis should really be on those who have been listed and invited, so that they will come and benefit. But there are very many who are not on the list, who are still coming, and yet it becomes a real problem. It's a challenge to deal with them, and yet they have to incur costs, and yet they are not invited. It becomes a challenge. Where they worked, we really appreciate, but this one was very, very specific for those ones who have been listed, verified, audited, and their finances finally came out.
Mr. Godfrey Bagwa, thank you very much for having made the time to speak to Morning at NTV. Of course, Mr. The other is Mr. Godfrey Bagwa. He is the head of Human Resource Management Services at the Ministry of East Africa Community Affairs. Fast forward, I have my brother Stephen Mbide on standby at the Chisenyi bus terminal, ready to acquaint